Hi there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a new section called Your Questions Answered, where you submit me questions on my Instagram and I answer them in comprehensive detail here. Today our question comes from Ross, and Ross asks us, is a Green Deal what economy should be focusing on after coronavirus? For anybody who's unfamiliar with the Green Deal, it came about in 2018 after a group of highly skilled climatologists warned we were going to exceed the safe, and I say safe with quote marks as I don't believe any temperature over 1.5 degrees is safe at all. Exceeding the safe zone would mean going towards 2 degrees, which would cause mass migration, wildfires, loss of indigenous species, and heat waves. So, a group of American activists recruited a US Senator called Ed Markey to turn the plan into a documented resolution. This was the first step towards addressing the issue with government and higher powers around the world. Now, the legislative proposal of the US, Canada, Europe and UK all support each other, creating a global Green Party where information and progress is shared. And the main point being conveyed in the initial 14-page document is that the centre of any climate activist's mind is keeping the climate below 2 degrees. The main problem with the Green Deal currently is that it's not a profit-orientated proposal, so it's not sustainable in promising people's job security. The resolution mentions in the first section moving to 100% clean energy. So what will the 900,000 fossil fuel workers in the US do? Surely there can be no more furloughing or loss of jobs. 82% of the world's economy still comes from fossil fuels. Our economies heavily rely on it. So how do we introduce the Green Deal into a society after coronavirus, when the world's economy has already shrunk by 3.2% in a matter of months? In the UK alone, since Rishi Sunak announced on the 4th of May that 6.3 million workers have been furloughed, getting them back to work safely and balancing the economy means implementing a Green Deal even years after the pandemic's behind us still seems like a tricky job. Coming out of the pandemic, there will be huge uncertainty over jobs. The aviation industry is in pieces. Virgin Atlantic have cut 3,000 employees, while Airbus are furloughing another 3,000 staff until October. But furloughing people isn't going to be sustainable long term. People want certainty and a guarantee now. Implementing a plan which will only cut more jobs is not the option. But if not now, when? Air pollution levels are at their lowest in decades. Commercial air traffic is down 73% since April last year. Why not grasp this opportunity to move forward in implementing sustainable living? It's only by investing in green infrastructure will the deal work coming out of coronavirus, giving those who may have lost jobs new ones. And I will explain shortly how a Green Deal could give thousands of new jobs. Addressing the green transport point, the two main bullet points for transport are 100% carbon neutral electricity by 2030 and 100% zero emissions in new light and medium duty vehicles by 2030 also. There's been progress recently. Grant Shapps, the Transport Minister, announced £2 billion for cycling and walking in London. And a key part of the green transport policy is investing in EV cars and electric charging points across the UK. A massive investment in EV charging infrastructure is required as a lack of charging points, along with the price of replacement batteries. These are two main reasons why I feel people aren't going electric. So how will the EV revolution create jobs? Currently, the UK has over 20,000 car charging points, and rolling out more will need a large and highly skilled workforce. The argument is, however, unlike fossil fuels which need to be constantly extracted, once you've installed a charging point, that's it until you put the next one in, and eventually there will be the required number. So it's questionable whether the EV industry will create sustainable jobs. The Green Deal is asking us to look at how we use energy differently. We need new buildings and infrastructure, improvements to grow the economy. More solar panels, more hydropower sources and more wind generation is all needed, and it's all expensive to create in a country where people are currently fighting just to get by. It is worth mentioning that the Green Deal in the US, where it was born, is different to the UK. One reason for this being because each state in the US operates differently. So, as of the 16th of April 2019, 21 US states operate with clean energy standards in place, while a renewable portfolio is in place but not physically being implemented in 15 states, and 5 are considering clean energy. In the UK, despite a level of devolution, in many respects we still operate as a single entity, but by many people's daily lifestyles have been radically changed by the pandemic. As of the 24th of March this year, the Office of National Statistics announced a record-breaking 8.7 million people working from home. Even post the pandemic, the Green Deal is likely to be helped by people continue to work from home, which reduces air and road pollution, office heating and energy consumption. So there'll be less strain on public transport, which will help towards the target of 100% zero emissions from personal and medium duty vehicles. Turning to aviation, there are likely to be significant structural changes in the industry. Aviation is responsible for 12% of all CO2 emissions, with road transport contributing 74%. So, more working from home, video conferencing and travelling only when essential will be a massive contributor to supporting the Green Deal. Turning to the impact on retail. Shopping once a week is back in fashion, unlike before coronavirus when people would shop 2 or even 3 times a week. Electricity and heat for homes and offices contribute 31% of total greenhouse gas emissions. After coronavirus, the government will find it hard to be funding initiatives in this area, such as subsidising the cost of installing solar panels or buying an electric car. But we do need complementary policies, such as establishing tax incentives for energy efficiency in new residential buildings and energy efficiency in public buildings. However, that does not address existing buildings which are currently energy inefficient. There are actions we can take to make our homes more environmentally friendly, such as introducing planters into spaces such as courtyards, roofs and walls. Greenery not only provides shelter and food for different species, but helps to reduce CO2, as well as reducing noise and creating a more relaxed environment. I really believe making a personal transition to a Green Deal is a lifestyle choice. We have all been told to stay at home. The majority did, and look at the result. It's about investing in green, long-term infrastructure and everyone having the same mindset, which will make the difference. We can start, however. You can modify your home with solar panels if you can afford them, or if not, green retrofitting strategies that I mentioned. You can work from home, shop once a week, buy corn meat instead of red meat, take the plunge and buy a hybrid car or buy a bike. It's a change of mentality, but I'm not expecting a quantum leap. But the pandemic has shown how making changes in lifestyle can quickly impact the environment in a positive way. The climate emergency is just as dangerous as coronavirus, but we need to restore people's livelihoods before we can change how society functions on a day-to-day basis. We need the basics of economic freedom to be promised. Jobs guarantee, public employment, healthcare, education and training. Otherwise the environment may be better off, but humans will not. So thank you so much for your question, Ross. I hope you feel like it's been answered. I look forward to hearing from you all in my next video, or if you have any more questions, please go to my Instagram or DM me, or in the comment section below, do send me something. But for now, stay alert, control the virus and save lives.